welcome to the very second episode, I believe, of the live streamed version of Talos of Movie Reviews, reviewing movies. Joining with me
Sounds about
tonight
right.
is Mr. Mike, coming directly to us from the planet Mars. If you're wondering why his internet might not be looking so good, it's because there is a 90-minute trip delay between the surface of Mars and the surface of Earth. So, how are you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well, doing well. Thanks for joining me here. We are going to be talking all about the latest, hottest, and best TV show streaming on Disney Plus right now, which is what, Mr. Mike?
Is it Wally?
Wally, yes. Maybe that needs to be the new running joke for the Talos of Movie Review podcast, folks. We got the Wally coming in here. So, no, it's not Wally.
It's another W.
Possibly a little more exciting, yeah. It's another W, possibly a little bit more exciting. We'll be talking about WandaVision today. How exciting!
Yeah.
WandaVision.
Yeah, man, so many fun episodes. It's only been like what, 4 episodes? Is there going to be 8 of them total?
I think there's going to be 8 per season. Is the hope there? So
Okay.
yeah, we got tons of season left, and we're only halfway through. We got some thoughts. Figured we wanted to share them with everyone here in kind of a more live, in-person format. We'll go over some of the main thoughts, and then we'd love to interact with you guys in the chat. So feel free to leave all of your comments, questions, and concerns. Before we get into this, I do want to mention spoiler territory for all of WandaVision that's currently out as of Thursday night, February 4th. I know there will be a new episode dropping in just mere hours, but we wanted to get our thoughts in for the mid-season review. So if you're not caught up on WandaVision, I suggest you go away now, finish watching WandaVision, and come back and listen to it. If you don't care about WandaVision, or spoilers for said WandaVision, feel free to stay tuned. So that is the spoiler alert warning here. I'll give a shout out to Alpha D Wolf for visiting first. And then we got Julian, and 3NW. So thanks very much for joining, and we're going to launch into a little bit of a monologue discussion here. Not a monologue, is there 2 of us? Maybe it's a duologue? But anyway, we're going to talk for a little while, and then we'll get into the chat in just a little bit here. So, Mike, what did you think about WandaVision? Let's split this up. Again, spoilers, everyone. Specifically talking about the first 3 episodes, and then we'll talk about the 4th episode after we finish talking about the first 3 episodes. Because I think there's enough creative difference that we can have 2 separate discussions there.
Definitely. Yeah, I thought going into this whole entire series, it was just going to be every single episode is just like another generation. So like the first episode was basically playing on I Love Lucy, and it's like the 50s. So things are a little bit quirkier, a little bit different. People are a little bit more upfront about what they're saying. You've got weird things, or not weird, but like you got very typical things going on back in the 50s. Like, oh no, we have neighbors coming over for dinner. We have to clean the whole house. We got to cook a whole like 3-course dinner to get the wine. We're getting entertainment going, all this stuff. Where I guess nowadays it's more just, hey, you want to come over and chill? I got some chips or something. Yeah, order pizza. But yeah, and then it hops to the 60s and 70s, and then suddenly on the 4th episode, it's just like, nah, we're just going to go straight to the 2020s for a bit, or whenever time period is. Maybe it's 2019 or 2021.
It goes 2023 is where this fits into the timeline. The
okay.
Timeline,
but yeah, no, at least for the first 3 episodes, very fun. I very much enjoyed just the generations of entertainment and all of the typical things that go on, especially like the 60s, where it's just like, okay, there's gonna be a magic show, so we're gonna do a magic show. You're gonna care about this magic show, and you end up caring about it a lot because there's so much like built up stress or tension that happens in that. You're just like, are they gonna out themselves as superheroes, or is something gonna happen? But yeah, what do you think, Nick?
I actually completely disagree with you. The first 3 episodes I did not like at all, but the 4th episode completely redeemed the first 3 for me. So I think I said this on another piece of content I made a while ago. After just watching the first 3 episodes, that WandaVision wasn't really interesting to me, and it wasn't for the first 3 episodes because it just felt like the most boring sitcom ever. I mean, besides the like Hydra references and the Tony Stark references and the commercials, like there was like nothing interesting going on there, for me at least. I mean, I love old fashioned black and white sitcoms. Like I love the Andy Griffith Show. I love Leave It to Beaver. I love these old TV shows, and watching, modern characters playing this kind of old TV retro thing. I just was not feeling it. And obviously they had the last shot of the first episode was of like a modern streaming setup, so that was kind of interesting, but I was just not getting into the story because there wasn't too much story to be had in the first 3 episodes. But the 4th episode I'm really glad I stuck around for because it kind of wrapped it all up, and it was like, okay, this is why those 3 episodes happened, and you we're going to rewatch all of those episodes again, but from a different perspective, that perspective being the audience. And it was kind of a fun fourth wall break, which I did enjoy. So overall, the first 3 episodes, not my favorite, but the story, the same story told from a completely different perspective, definitely very interesting, and I did enjoy that. So those are the overall thoughts on the WandaVision 1 and 2.
Yeah, you mentioned the commercials, which I thought were pretty funny. The first one was like, it's these fake commercials in the show. If you haven't watched it, but you're just watching this because you enjoy content by us, I guess. But yeah, the first one's like a Stark themed Stark themed toaster. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really cool is there's color in that shot. There's one red LED on the toaster. I'm like, that's strange. I guess. I don't know where they're going with this. But yeah, one red LED on the toaster. I think it like hung on that shot for a little bit. Yeah, and then like the second one was it Hydro Watch? No, I think that was the third one. Oh, it was Strucker Watch. That's what it was. So it was a watch with was it Baron von Strucker, his name on it? I thought that was a little bit entertaining. You don't recall that?
Yeah, well, I remember the Hydro Watch, but I don't remember the other watch that you're talking about.
So there's Strucker Watch, and then after that's the Hydro Watch, and it conveniently looks like a Tesseract, which I thought was pretty hilarious, because it's all boxed up and everything. And I think they make a nod to Hydra soap in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. Not the best, or like not the most popular show. Predated Disney Plus.
Seasons of that a long time ago.
Yeah, it was the one show that me and my wife like really tried sticking with, and then basically just got tired of what they're going with on that, and then ended up I think just watching Arrow. But that's not something that's going on, at least with WandaVision. WandaVision, the wife and I are really enjoying this. I think we watched the first 2 episodes of WandaVision with Drew, which was pretty entertaining because Louise and Drew are doing their whole I love Louise bit, and so them watching this like, oh hey, this is what we're kind of doing, but modern day. We have modern day characters, like you said, playing or in this world of the 50s and 60s and 70s. What do you think about them having powers in the show, Nick? Like,
I think it's in universe. It makes sense. I'm a little confused. I'm a confused Marvel fan most of the time. I've never been like the kind of person who's, oh, Marvel. I don't have Marvel posters, and I'm not like as emotionally invested with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as I am with the Star Wars universe. So I'm always kind of confused on their timelines because they seem to jump around a little bit, and maybe it's just me not wanting to take the extra time to figure out what's going on. But we do have some kind of a... Like, I'm pretty sure Vision had died at this point, right? Like, Vision died when Thanos pulled out his stone. So, like, I was really confused for a while until the end of episode 4 with, the jump scare. But, like, up until that point, I was really confused. I was like, Vision died, didn't he? I'm pretty sure.
When does this take place?
I know.
Is it, like, in between, like, was it Civil War and Infinity War? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's ended up like, no, he's been dead. This is all just Wanda going crazy.
Maybe. Or maybe it's literally Satan going crazy.
Yeah, Yeah, what do you think of that theory? That it's
Oh, my
basically, I
goodness.
forget what the character's name is. It starts with an M, I think. Maybe one of you in the chat can fill us in on who the weird satanic character is in the Marvel universe. But they have some weird story with like Wanda and kids and something like that. That I was very lost by that. Not really theory, but I guess speculation.
Yeah, I'm confused with most things about Marvel. I like the big Avengers, and I like Spider-Man, so that's about as far as I go on the deep nerdy stuff of Marvel. But this is kind of the show that I wasn't planning on enjoying, but after the fourth episode, I am actually really looking forward to the one that's dropping tonight to kind of see how that plot continues, because I definitely think we're out of the first little bit, and we're into like the rising action part of the scene. Like, we've established our characters, we've established our set, we've established motives. Now we need to figure out what's getting us from the beginning point to the climax. And I am excited to see that. And it's a fun TV show, just objectively. I mean, I think with episode 4 kind of putting a spin and putting us, the viewers, basically on screen, like the Agent Wu and what's-her-face scientist lady. They were like eating chips and watching the TV show, and I'm like, oh,
Darcy,
that's
her
doing
name.
right now.
Darcy's her name. Darcy.
Darcy.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, she was in Thor, wasn't she? I'm pretty sure she was the assistant in one of the Thor movies.
Yeah, she was in 1 and 2, and then of course, like in Thor 3, they kind of just dropped basically all the characters or killed all of them. And so it's just like, okay, well now it's just Thor and Loki and a bunch of other people, or like, not really a bunch, but a handful. So it was nice seeing her back, and I really enjoyed the bit in episode 4 where it's like Sword, which is kind of like Shield, is just throwing every single like major or like career at this like phase bubble that Wanda has made, and they're just like, okay, astrophysicist, chemical engineer, psychologist or something. I forget the other two. It's just like
and
very
so
disconnected people.
So
I'm like,
so Shield doesn't, or sorry, Sword. That's another rant. So Shield doesn't know what Sword.
Shield, Sword, the same thing.
I know, right? Like, okay, so as like a halfway Marvel fan, when they rebranded everything to Sword, I was like, wait a minute, what? What's going on here?
So I think the thing is, I don't know if they're really trying to keep it canonical with Winter Soldier and then all of Agents of Shield, but Shield still exists. It's just a really small team of people, and then I think Sword is supposed to be the next big thing, kind of like Shield. But I wasn't concrete or at least sure that it was supposed to be on Earth. I thought that was something that Nick Fury was making with the Skrulls or something. But whatever.
Maybe it's both, because that director guy had mentioned that they couldn't find any astronauts to go off-world. So maybe there's a little something there for later plots. But I was definitely very confused about the whole Sword thing. Like, where did that come from?
You're not Nick Fury.
Right? Like, wait a minute. You're the very white, very plain, very boring version of Nick Fury without the cool eye patch. Get out of here.
That got scratched up by a cat, which is why
I really hate that part of Captain Marvel. It's like,
you
had to take the coolest part of the character and just explain it, which is the same reason why I don't like Solo, because they took the Kessel Run and they showed us exactly what it looks like. Now it's not interesting.
Yeah. You did mention Captain.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say you mentioned Captain Marvel, in which Captain Marvel does drop in, or not? She doesn't drop in literally, but the her friend Maria, I think is her name. Monica's mom, Maria or whatever.
Yeah.
She isn't in the show, but at least like they pay homage to Endgame in the 4th episode.
That's exactly the transition that I wanted to make here. Before we get too far off, the reason why I liked episode 4 from the get-go, we had the Marvel fanfare, and then the most epic scene. It's like literally 4 years at this point, 3.5, 4 years of waiting to finally see what someone unblipping looks like, and that was exactly what I wanted to see. The chaos at the end of Infinity War, when the snap happens and everyone gets blipped, and just the mass chaos that you see Nick Fury engaged in, like, air helicopters falling out of the sky, and just that kind of level of chaos. I was so happy to see that level of chaos return with another blip related incident when everyone came back. Could you imagine being in the hospital? That's like, besides an airplane or a boat, being in a hospital would be the worst place to blip out of and then blip back to, because oh no, like, what if you're on the operating table and you just like blip back and like there's some guy already there and like what happened to people who are existing in the same physical space at the same time? Like, did they get like merged together? Like, I have so many questions.
I think I understood it when people were trying to rationalize, like, okay, yeah, people in the air on planes were pleasantly dropped like very close to the ground when they flipped back into existence.
Please.
But yeah, I mean, like, of course they're falling from the sky if you really want to get into like physical accuracy.
Well, if you really
but,
want to
like,
get into that, the Earth has moved around the sun and moved around the Earth. So when they blip back, all those people are just in space dying. So what's the
yeah. But yeah, definitely with like that whole rationale of, oh yeah, there's people in hospitals getting operated on, or in their deathbed, and maybe they get blipped out and then blipped back in. All of a sudden, either
Still
your
on their
face,
deathbed.
yeah, like either you're phased into someone, which is even more grotesque, or two, you're sharing a bed with someone else, which is just even funnier. Like,
Gosh.
imagine you're minding your own business, and all of a sudden this person blips in to your left, and you're like, where'd you come from? You're just kind of like, I guess, I don't know.
And now our arms are attached. Wonderful.
Yeah, so they introduced Maria, who we saw in like the other episodes, which I don't think they said her name, at least in those. I think she came up with her own name. I think Geraldine.
Yeah, Geraldine. That was it.
But then I guess it's Monica, not Maria. Monica, my bad. But yeah, so then Monica's like rushing around, of course, like with all this chaos. She's just like, where's my mom? The nurse is like, oh, I'm like, of course, she runs into this one who remembers her mom.
Right? Could you imagine? I'm like, that is unbelievable right there. The doctor from 5 years ago is like, oh my goodness, what's your name? I totally remember you. It makes so much sense that you're here now. Your mom died. The actresses.
Your mom died.
Your mom died. The actress did a pretty good job displaying what I would imagine those emotions to be like. You see her face go from, it's one long close-up shot of her as the doctor's describing, no, your mom's been dead for 3 years. And the lady's like, what? No, I was just there. I fell asleep for maybe 20 minutes. What do you mean? And then she's like, honey, she died 2 years ago. Like, no. That was, died 2 years after you disappeared. And just her whole face was just like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
I think it's
all
even
of the levels of mind blowing.
It's even more tragic because it's like, okay, your mom did get better, but then she got worse. It's like, oh no. But I did like the continuity at least, where if you noticed in Endgame, Peter, when he's talking with Tony Stark at the end of it, I guess this is spoilers or whatever, for Endgame, he's like, yeah, I think I fell asleep for like a few minutes after things got all dusty, and then I'm back, and then Doctor Strange was like, hey, we gotta go or whatever. But I really liked at least the attention to detail where it's like, oh yeah, I only fell asleep for like 20 minutes. Like, what happened to her?
Yeah.
Definitely. I liked it. But yeah, we see Jimmy Woo, which is really, he's probably one of my favorite characters in the MCU just because he's so silly.
He is.
And he's Pam's husband.
Who? Oh, from
The Office?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's also the guy in Fresh Off the Boat. But yeah. I was like, wait a minute, Pam in the MCU? What? Dunder Mifflin,
yes.
This is Pam. She's in the MCU, evidently. Who knew? Oh,
apparently. But yeah, I did like how he did the card trick with his hand. It's like, oh yes, he finally mastered this card trick. If you watch him into this, guy's just like, how are you doing all this magic? Teach me. It's like so happy I did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Agent Woo is one of the best characters in this series for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate him. Wanted to shout out Nathan who just joined. Thank you. Appreciate you joining. And also the name of the literally Satan lady is Mephisto, if I'm reading that right. Mephisto.
Is she a lady?
Oh, was it a lady or a guy? I thought it was a lady.
I don't know if it's, I
watched
have no
it
clue.
looked like she was a lady.
Okay. Well,
I
we'll
don't
go
know.
with lady then. Um,
I don't want to assume anyone's gender, so whatever deep in the
but yeah, episode
lady.
4 was really, really fun. Definitely like kind of backpedaling through all of it. It's just like, okay, well, something's going on, something weird. Like it's a weapons level, like missing weapons, which was a nice nod. Like, oh yeah, Avengers are weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just becomes this whole operation that the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, everyone's here trying to figure out this force field. And then you get Darcy coming, she's like, I'm gonna grab this old TV and start watching a show or whatever. And then ultimately discovers, oh hey, it's Wanda Maximoff and the Vision in a show. Isn't he dead?
Yeah. And dropping her cup of noodles and everything, which is probably a good thing. You shouldn't be eating cup of noodles, guys. Those things are terrible for your body. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite episodes. My favorite episode of the entire show was episode 4. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do with episode 5 because I think there were a couple good plot holes that were kind of like, left. I mean, it's just the middle of the season, so like there's plenty of room for more plot development. One of which is, have you seen the episode 5 and 6 trailers? There are 2 trailers floating around the internet. Have you seen those?
I'm trying to hide myself from those just so that way I'm not spoiled.
Dude. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Dude. All right. Fine. That was going to be like a 5-minute monologue right there. It looks so good. Vision.
It looks like they're dipping into like Family Matters type of things.
Yeah.
At least from some still images I've seen.
Well, and it goes all the way up to present day. Like there's shots of Wanda in the TV show universe, like in modern clothing, like talking like someone we'd expect. So I'd imagine this is gonna all good. That's probably from one of the later episodes in the season. But all that to say, like Vision looks like he has a much bigger role than he does right now. Because Vision right now seems to kind of just be this ancillary character, and the focus seems to be about Wanda. Which makes sense if Wanda's the one running this whole thing. But if it is someone else and they're using Wanda's powers or mind controlling Wanda somehow, I wouldn't be surprised if Wanda's imagination of Vision, because we're pretty sure that Vision is actually dead due to the jump scare scene. Vision seems to be a pretty pivotal character. I think at the end of the 3rd episode when he's talking with the neighbors and the neighbors is like, well, she's not from around here. And they're like trying to, it's obvious that they want to tell him the big secret, but they can't. And it's so weird. And you can kind of see he's starting to piece it together until Wanda or whoever this controlling being is kind of edits it. And it just, bloop. Oh no, dear.
Now we're sitting on the couch with our babies. We're fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Why do you think she had twins, or why do you think that was needed to be part of the story? Like I don't really understand much of the background lore, but like it was kind of random to see her not pregnant in one episode, pregnant, just new, and then like within like 2 hours have twins, and it's just like I don't understand.
I did find it very inconsistent. Like within her 2 episodes, she goes from like not having much of a baby bump if she did the very first episode to like having a really big baby bump within like I don't know what the time span is. I'm sure it's not months because I don't think the Army and Navy would be sitting there for months or at a time. But
on my rewatch of episode 4, it looks like the TV shows that we got to watch in their full entirety, the 3 episodes, are playing at our speed right now, 30 minutes or whatever each episode. And there are 3 of those. And it looks like after they get the TV out, it's pretty much real time that we're watching. I was trying to think of a better way to explain this, and I'm not coming up with one. But basically, the people in episode 4 are watching the 3 episodes in chronology at live time, like they're just being broadcast one after another. And the entirety of episode 4 takes place in the amount of time it would take to watch episodes 1 through 3. That's what it looks like to me, because it starts with, the very beginning black and white, spinning dishes and stuff. And then it goes all the way to, what's her face getting tossed out of the bubble.
Monica. Yeah.
Monica, thank you. And so I think that that's happening in real time, and now we're kind of synchronized, where we have the external perspective synchronized with the internal TV show's perspective. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do here in episode 5, and whether or not that's going to be, maybe it'll just be one episode completely inside the TV universe, or maybe since we've broken that 4th wall, we're going to keep hopping between the two. But if you look at what the people outside of the television were able to do in episode 4, it wasn't really much. I mean, the director guy came in for a couple seconds. They were able to send one guy in, and that's all very plausible to happen within 90 minutes, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think it was definitely a kind of more real time thing. So, anyway.
Yeah. So she quickly had babies like within 90 minutes, which is it's crazy. Had no clue. But at least like I think the reasoning behind it, show wise or plot wise, if it's not connected to at least some Mephistus or whatever, what's it called? In the comics, Vision has kids. With I think some other android. It's like kind of a play on the 50s life or whatever. It's all very like she's wearing an apron, like here's a very modern, or not modern, but very old timey kitchen, and they have their issues, but then they work it out. But then like there's these android kids. So I think maybe that's what they're playing with. I'm not too sure. At least that's the knowledge that I have of like Vision having kids, in which again the show's a little bit vague on like if they did have these kids, like if they actually did the devil's tango, or if the devil is doing the tango. Yeah, it could be both. So I don't know. It was just really off-putting, that whole episode of just like, oh yes, I'm pregnant, and then like for 30 minutes it's like I'm in my third trimester for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then now I have 2 babies. Okay.
Exactly. It's very, very confusing.
Yeah, and then like her powers going all wacky. It was strange, especially with like the Spork running around. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What do you think of the settings? Like we started out in probably 1963 and then moved to late 60s, and then now we're in the 70s, definitely solid mid 70s. What do you think about that time jump and that progression? Does that tell you anything about what the rest of the show is going to be about, and maybe who might be controlling it?
Yes, I mean at least like at the very beginning. I just totally lost my train of thought somehow. But at least like the generations in episodes, like this is the 50s, this is the 60s, this is the 70s. I thought that was gonna be like the main of just like here is what's going on in these time frames, and like we're just gonna play on all these tropes that went on during these televisions that we all love to watch. But it seems like that's kind of being pushed back. Instead of being like in the forefront, it's being put in the background. And so you kind of get to enjoy like, oh yes, they're in the 80s now and everything is all weird and funky. But then like you have more of the plot taking control of the narrative rather than the ambiance, or at least the environment being the plot. Which I definitely welcome. It seems like something that you kind of want as well, because you're kind of hinting at like there's not really much structure, or there wasn't really like much connection going on besides like here's the 50s and here's people acting like they're in the 50s, and then maybe one random like, oh look, a helicopter. Why is there a toy helicopter here that's colored? And we're all black and white. So at least I'm welcoming this change from like episodes 5 to episodes 8 or something like that. It'll be an interesting, I guess, plot-wise, where they're going and what happens at the end. I'm sure Doctor Strange is jumping in at the end to save her, because
I hope so.
I think that's...
I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come...
5 minutes straight of that. But yeah, no, I believe Wanda Maximoff is supposed to be joining Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. So it only makes sense to have Doctor Strange come in at the end of the show and be like, Wanda, I'm saving you. Now let's go. We have a thing to save. You're very powerful.
That's a good idea. What kind of other Avengers do you think we'll see in this?
Well, they name dropped Ultron and Quicksilver, or Pietro. So it'd be nice to see like maybe Pietro come back or something like that. I'm really surprised. That's another kind of plot hole. It's like there's this really strange thing happening, like very mind-bending, world-shattering. Like there's a town that's missing. Like there's a whole barrier around it, and we have the army, the navy, and everything. I'm not calling any of the Avengers.
Yeah, right.
Or like they're like, hey, can we get someone from New Asgard to check this out? You guys have been in space. Is this one of your things? Or are you familiar with this? Like, no one's coming besides just like the Army and Navy, which really confuses me.
Literally all of the military, though. Like, it's not just like one branch trying to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna take care of this and not tell anyone about it. But no, it's like everyone. It's like, ooh,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
just really confuses me. Like, can you not afford to get like Paul Rudd, or I guess not Paul Rudd, I guess Ant-Man, or whatever, like call up Ant-Man, or I guess maybe they don't really care about Ant-Man. Well, like, the FBI guy.
Yeah.
No, it's Scott Lang, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so get Ant-Man here. I don't know, maybe Ant-Man, I don't think Ant-Man's coming, but yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to see Quicksilver come back, along with, I don't know, maybe some people from Age of Ultron. Maybe have Hawkeye come in, but he's not actually there. It's just like some, not Vision, I guess, but like some fake version of Hawkeye, because he's now joined episodes. I don't know. Maybe something like that. I think I'd welcome that. Maybe not something too huge like the Falcon and Winter Soldier just randomly dropping in, because they've got their own show in a couple months that we're definitely probably going to review as well.
No, we would never do that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. What characters do you think would come in then, at least from your perspective?
That's a good question. I was kind of hoping to see, like this is taking place obviously after Endgame, so there's no hope for Tony Stark, who is still one of my favorite MCU characters. I'm so sad to see him go.
Yeah,
but maybe Wanda can reinvent him. Please, Wanda.
I mean, he came in as a twister.
Back. Get RDJ back. I think there's a pretty solid case to see Captain Marvel come in. Just the fact that she's off in space, and this is definitely some kind of space-related thing. If it's not Wanda in some kind of mental breakdown after losing Vision, then it's definitely some kind of extraterrestrial space type emergency, I guess. And so I would hope to see Captain Marvel, or maybe even Nick Fury with the Skrulls. That would be kind of cool to finally get payback on that.
Get Ben Mendelsohn back as forget what he Malf. It starts with an M, I think. Malphus or something. Just basically sounds like marbles in his mouth, just like, and what about a child? Something. That'd be funny.
Literally, we should just always have for every single Avengers anything. Like, even the episode 5 of WandaVision should just have all of the Avengers assemble, just like in Endgame, just every single time. It's like, oh no, a little child stubbed his toe in a random city. Avengers assemble! Just need all of the Avengers all of the time.
Kid gets clobbered by all the buildings that are falling over just because everyone's coming in their ships and whatever else.
Just use the sling rings.
Oh yeah, we just have Doctor Strange bring everyone in via sling ring. That's
very convenient.
It'll make that scene very less powerful. The fact that Doctor Strange just does this everywhere. He just has a whole posse behind him. He's like, all right, I'll go in first, and then everyone else goes in.
Imagine
and I hold up a finger.
Bank robberies would be if you had a sling ring.
Oh, jeez.
Well, let's see. Do you have any other more monologue-y type thoughts, or should we start reading some comments, questions, and concerns?
I did find it was funny, wasn't it? I think in episode 2, because episode 2 seemed just like very far off the beaten path. Mm-hmm. Like it starts with a scary tree. I think like they're scared of a tree hitting the house against some like, random noise. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you have Vision getting kind of like drunk, almost on gum. He's acting all silly and weird.
Bubble gum? Like what on earth? That was dumb.
Okay. Yeah, I did like the little infographic. Like it was very 1960s or whatever. Like here is the body. Here is the gum going down the orifice or whatever. And now it is getting gunked up by gears in his stomach. Okay. And then him just being like really drunk and trying to do things, and then Wanda trying to cover up for all the magic and supernatural or super powerful things that he's doing. And they end up getting applause at the end. Yeah. And then I guess I think it was the next episode, in episode 3. You've got the quirky black neighbor cutting the hedges and then he starts cutting the wall with hedge trimmers, which is like, okay. And then you can obviously tell right behind him it's just like a fake background, which I think is just a play on the fact that this is all Wanda's making or someone else is making. And it's just like, this is basically just Bob Ross behind this guy doing the painting or whatever.
Just Bob Ross. I love it.
Just Bob Ross. But I guess those are the two things that I wanted to note as well.
Okay.
Very interesting choices in what they're trying to do. And then also the characters just being like, yeah, something's going on, but we don't know. Especially with like the first episode with Mr. Hart's wife, just like not doing anything while her husband's choking on the ground. She's like, haha, you're so funny.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And he's just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. And then, of course, Wanda Big's character, and she's like, help him viz. And then they just like don't even notice either. They're kind of just like, okay, we're going. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
And then she does the weird, like,
Okay,
I'm going now. She's like,
I'd still rather have Toy Story 2's Barbie say bye-bye, bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Yeah. But yeah, so I get open it up to the comments.
Yeah, anyone who's still listening to the possibly 7-ish people, let me know what you thought about WandaVision down in the live chat, and we will get to your live chat here in just a moment here. And we want to talk with you, hear what you think about it. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and if you've seen all of the episodes, because I'm wondering how many people, even after the very verbose spoiler warning I gave at the beginning, are watching this having not seen WandaVision episodes 1 through 4. So if you haven't seen all of those episodes, I highly recommend that you do. But let's catch up with the chat here. So Mr. Alpha Wolf here was the very first one commenting here in the chat. Thank you very much. Welcome. Let's see. We have, he says, first time visiting the Telusive movie reviews. Can't wait to see what's here. Well, if you like what you're seeing, there's going to be a little bit more of this, but mostly what Mike and I are going to be doing, at least for now, are going to be more recorded podcasts, just long form content that'll be uploaded here on the YouTube channel, and then also on the YouTube, the podcasts, Talos of Movies podcast channel on iTunes.
It's a little bit more friendly for my Martian internet right now.
Well, you know, internet is not a human right, unfortunately, yet. So we all have to deal with different internets. We'll have that content coming, and then Drew and Dan are gonna start making a little bit more regular content whenever lightning strikes. Drew is obviously really busy with his other channels, so he hasn't made any commitment to how often he'll post here. But he's posted a couple of videos recently, just talking about. I think he did an RDJ one, Robert Downey Jr. one, and he had another one that was kind of recent too.
I think it was Batman as well, which was pretty good.
It was a Batman, yeah. And Dan just posted one a couple days ago, so there's more content coming here. Can't say it's going to be super regular, but Mike and I are going to be definitely trying every week to get you a movie review podcast where we'll be taking one movie and diving really, really deep into it. Sometimes, like the last one we just did about Toy Story, the podcast will end up being longer than the movie itself. So that's the kind of content.
We could have just watched the movie and talked about it, but not really friendly for those who are just listening to the podcast and listening to us. But
I'm not going to say that I'm as good as a Pixar movie, but I'm going to say that I'm as good as a Pixar movie.
Nick, you be, and everyone will love it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, who else do we have? We've got Wyatt, or
so
I guess we have 3 and W, but yeah, we'll get to Wyatt in a second. So
says yo,
saying hello.
And then
hello.
This was like hours ago, so it's possible these people have already left, and it looks like we went from 7 viewers to 4. So way to go, guys! That's the story of the Taylor's Movie Reviews channel. I think it was at like 7,000 at some point subs, and every time we post something, we lose subscribers. So,
we'll just keep posting.
Keep posting. We'll try to get it to 0, everyone. Hashtag get us to 0 subscribers by 2022. That's the goal here.
I don't think I would say that.
I mean, I'm not doing it for the subs or the likes, so that's fine.
Me either. I just enjoy
Wyatt
movies.
Says, hey, hope you guys are doing great today. Appreciate it, Wyatt. He also says, only watching for you guys. I literally know nothing about the show. All right, well, hopefully.
You just got spoiled heck of everything now.
just no surprises left anymore, Wyatt. Sorry about that. When does episode 5 come out? 3NW asks. Well, episode 5 comes out sometime tonight. I haven't quite figured out when Disney Plus does their releases, but it happens like super early Friday morning. So depending on what time zone you're in or where you are in the world, it comes out either super late Thursday night or super early Friday mornings for new shows. So we're expecting it tonight, so I'll probably wake up tomorrow morning and watch the next episode of WandaVision. And then we have 3NW had told us who that literally devil character was. Mephisto? How do you pronounce that?
Mephisto? Maybe? I'm not too sure.
Mephisto.
Devil person.
The devil person. Nathan Matthews, welcome. Thanks for joining. Says, hello, guys. Appreciate that.
Hello.
Wyatt says, dang, I really want to watch WandaVision now. All right, well, you should leave us and watch WandaVision.
That's a good show.
What's a question? Well, Alpha, that is a question. You've successfully asked a question, and so that would be a question.
The real question is, what's an answer? Is it a statement, or is it just another question? How many answers do you need to make to satisfy one question?
What if I answered your question with another question?
I'm confused now. Let's move on.
Who knows? Doing a Ron Swanson hostile witness guy.
I catch on.
All right. Wyatt says, you guys have me convinced. I'm going to go watch it. All right. You go do that. Are you still doing your stream on your channel tonight? I will be, yes. I don't know about Mike.
Nah, I'm not going to be joining that, at least. I could join in the future, if you'll have me, but otherwise, I'm going to talk about movies right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But we definitely have some content coming up soon, so definitely stick around.
Yes. Let's see. Alpha Wolf says, I have a movie I'd like to review, but I don't understand how not get strikes for that. Well, the main thing that you need to do when you're making a movie that you want to review and not get a copyright strike or anything like that is to not use any video and likely no sound and as few images as possible. A lot of the images are okay from a lot of the different studios. Like if we wanted to show you, pictures of WandaVision or whatever, I feel comfortable doing that here. I don't think we'll get any strikes for showing just pictures off the internet here. However, sometimes with some of the different studios or whatever, like I know Universal is really bad. Like if you show any Universal property, even like the pictures, they'll sometimes issue strikes for that. So just got to be careful. And Mike and I do the entire movies podcast without showing any visuals from it. And for now, that's how it's going to be easy. A, because it's easier to edit, and B, because it's not going to end up getting any copyright strikes or anything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we can always show the occasional picture from time to time if we want, or if Alpha Wolf or Alpha D Wolf, if you want to do something like that, just show some images and talk about it. Talk about whatever's interesting to you, and eventually people will catch on and probably enjoy the content. And if not, then just enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly. You got to enjoy what you're doing. Number one. All right.
Goodness.
Yeah,
Hari Kumar, I think.
Harry Kumar? Okay. I'm sorry.
Like Harold
for
Kumar.
that. We're just dumb Americans. We don't know how to say things. So
We're
please
sorry.
tell us how to say it because we do care about you. As someone who's not from the U.S., I haven't watched any old sitcoms. The 3 episodes F, yes. I would agree with you. I am someone who did enjoy old sitcoms, and this still isn't really a good quality old sitcom because this was obviously part of the Marvel narrative, and there were these modern characters in this old setting. For me, I didn't enjoy it, but I'd imagine for someone who hasn't seen or hadn't grown up with old U.S.-based sitcoms, it would be a little weird, huh?
Very lost. Like, why is she laughing about hitting a plate on his head, and he's kind of just like, okay, whatever. Like, I get that he's like kind of indestructible, besides when Thanos crushes his head.
Well, you know.
why is there a laugh track? Why are people laughing over this? Like,
You know, we should talk about that for a second. I don't think we got to mention that. The laugh track, I really always hate laugh tracks. Like, I don't like the TV show Friends just because it has a laugh track. But I do like shows that have a live studio audience, whether that's Jeopardy or Leave It to Beaver or some Andy Griffith show. Like
Big Bang.
These are like real studio audiences. Like they had people, a crowd of people watching them film it, and so I like how natural those reactions can be, and well timed and well paced. But when you have just like laugh tracks, like Friends does, where it's just just a track of laughter, it's kind of takes me out of the show. So I really did appreciate that WandaVision for the first episode was filmed in front of a live studio audience, which is pretty cool. Also, how do I get in that live studio audience?
That'd be fun, especially during the pandemic. How would you get in there?
Yeah, I was
You
surprised.
have to be really laughing hard.
You're not supposed to laugh at all, even if you have a mask on. Like spit out or something.
I'm laughing.
He also felt that it was very boring. I bet you that was the continuation of his chat there. Sorry about that. Christopher Cruz, welcome. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying I'm alone then, enjoying the first 3 episodes. That's all right.
Well, sampling of 3 is hardly a consensus. So, Christopher, welcome. Thanks for joining. Appreciate having you here. The best part is we get Falcon and Winter Soldier 2 weeks after WandaVision finish. I know. There's going to be hardly a break in Marvel content. And then after we finish all the Marvel content, we're going to get all the Star Wars content. And at that point, I'm just not going to have a life because I'm going to be talking about these shows and movies. And it's kind of depressing.
Well, at least we have this platform to talk about it. And hopefully people enjoy us talking about, was it Rogue Squadron and all the other things.
Rogue Squadron. Oh, I cannot wait for that. That's probably going to be one of my favorite Star Wars movies of all time. Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. Yeah, no. What's it called? Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be pretty awesome.
Yes, that is. Alpha D Wolf says, how about Apple TV Plus? As far as what shows we like? I'm not quite sure what that question means.
I think he's in reference to his question afterward. Because he wants to review a movie on Apple TV. He's wondering if Apple would be okay with him either showing still images or some video clips or some audio clips. I think that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, I don't know. You probably did a little bit of research on it. I'm sure some creators have done some stuff with Apple TV Plus's content. I think Apple TV Plus right now is just desperate for any attention, so I would imagine they wouldn't be very mad at you, where someone like Universal, who doesn't need attention, is more in a better position to be able to strike stuff down. So I'd say Apple TV Plus is probably the streaming service where you're probably most safe, but I would do your own research. I'm not. That's just my opinion and thought at this second, based on no research. So do your research and possibly try it out and let me know if it works, if they don't try to strike anything. I know Apple will strike live streams. Like if you copy and paste their whole live stream, they'll strike that. But I think just using...
Yeah, I don't think I'd be happy either if I was Apple.
These products are so exciting.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, looks like one of our last comments this evening is coming from Christopher Cruz. It says WandaVision did use a live studio audience. Yes, they did. I think that chat came in before we mentioned that. Cool little point. But yeah, WandaVision did use a live studio audience, which is really cool. Alpha D Wolf says, if that's the case, I'd be happy to do my research and happy to if research proves you right. I hope so, but I don't know. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to mention, Mr. Mike?
Well, looking forward to episode 5. Hopefully, it definitely gives us a follow-up on what's going on. Gives us all some more Jimmy Woo and Darcy. They are very underrated characters. I think need a little bit more spotlight as well. And then maybe explain more on the difference between sword and shield, because I'm very confused on one. They have a giant base at Kennedy Space Center.
And it's just like a huge hangar. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay, what do you have in there, Rocket? So, I guess they did show it's basically some military grade vessels. But yeah, otherwise, no. Just hoping everyone's staying safe, and that's about it.
All right.
What about you? Do you have any closing thoughts to Mr.
I am closed out on WandaVision thoughts. Possibly I'll have some more after the next episode drops. But thanks for joining me, Mike. It's been good having you, and looking
Martian Storm is picking up right now, so I think we're ending at a good time. I'm starting to see some Martian rocks fly at the canvas and the tab.
And if we have some some soil and regolith cover your solar panels, then you're going to lose energy. Like poor, was it Opportunity? I think.
Opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, died with dust on her solar panels. So.
Rip.
Sadness.
Yeah. I'll just jump in my Cybertruck and drive away.
Yeah, I'm going to be live on my Ann Sweeney live channel this evening, and I'll see you guys there if you want to tune in and say hello. But Mike, I appreciate you spending some time with me, and hope you guys all have a very wonderful day, and have a good one. God bless.
Good morning / night, everyone.